I've lived in New Jersey my entire life, and I know lots of interesting people. Artists, musicians, actors, business owners, and politicians. So my goal is to introduce some of the most interesting people who have ties to New Jersey. Either they live here, they work here, they went to school here, whatever tie I can think of. Many of these people are not well known even in New Jersey, but I'm going to change that because I'm Lucille Losapio, and this is Not So Famous in New Jersey. If you recognize the soundtrack behind me, you may have figured out that this week's episode is going to be about Doctor Who. And yes, we're going to nerd out on Doctor Who, so be prepared. I got together with several friends who are a bit obsessed with this show. Doctor Who is a show that has gone through several iterations. The Doctor, as he is known, travels in time in his TARDIS and normally has a companion with him. He dies, he regenerates, he affects history, and just when you think you know what's going to happen, something different happens. In addition to our favorite episodes, our favorite villains, and what exactly it is that gets us so excited about Doctor Who. And by the way, his name is just the Doctor. And what does the Doctor have to do with New Jersey? Well, he travels everywhere, so of course he's been to New Jersey. So let me just introduce each of our panel guests today, starting here.
Hello, I'm Nika Stewart.
Hello, I am Ellie. Just Ellie.
Hi, I'm Nora, sorry.
And I'm Rob.
Now, the reason we're doing this is because we had a little conversation started over dinner a couple of weeks ago, and it occurred to me there are a lot of people who are really big Doctor Who fans. And it might be a good chance to get together and talk about why this is such an
I've seen an episode or two. It's just, I think that they're probably worthwhile. I just never felt a connection to it. I saw the very first one, and that first Doctor, really different dynamic from what you see today.
I also love Matt Smith. I'd say he's a very close second.
I'd agree. I think David Tennant sneaks Matt Smith out for me, mostly because David Tennant's charisma outside of the character has added to, for me, the lore of his character as Doctor Who.
Well, it's hard to deny the appeal, the charm of David Tennant and Matt Smith, but I'm going to go off the board here, and I'm actually going to say it's Peter Capaldi. He brings a certain gravitas. He brings and he was a childhood Doctor Who fan. It's funny. There's some pictures floating around of him standing with the earlier Doctors from the 80s. But we just saw a couple of episodes in preparation for this to kind of refresh us. And the end of the I forget what season it was, but when it goes from The Raven to Heaven Sent to Hellbent are three of the strongest episodes I think in the entire series. And there you go. Peter Capaldi.
Every time there's a new Doctor Who, I'm so disappointed. And it's like, and then after a while, it's like you forget the other one. And then he dies, and you're like, no, I really like them.
One of the most interesting things was that we started watching, and Christopher Eccleston was, and we fell in love with Christopher Eccleston. We thought he was fantastic, the whole season with Rose, and we did not know the lore of Doctor Who. We did not know that there was regeneration. So the first time we see the regeneration, it was absolutely mind-blowing. We did not know in advance. So we see then him coming into David Tennant, and what an experience that was to see that regeneration.
I also want to say fans might get a little upset that we're calling him Doctor Who.
Okay. Yeah, we know
Yeah.
he's the Doctor.
Yes. I also didn't know anything about the show when I started. I was in college, and a lot of my friends were also very into Doctor Who, and it was on Netflix at the time. So I just started it blind, not knowing nothing about the premise at all. So the regeneration, I was upset that the actors switched.
Yeah, I thought that they were just like, oh, they wrote this guy out of the show, so they had to. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, no, this is part of the story.
Yeah, but they kind of did for Christopher Eccleston. I mean, he was not happy. He didn't get along with everybody there, and it was time for him to part.
But it was fine because it's the Doctor Who show. So if someone, even the main character doesn't want to be there, he just regenerates to another actor. And it's the kind of thing where I know everyone who watches it. You're watching, and then even if you don't think you love the character or the actor, after a few episodes you fall in love with them because they're the Doctor. No, you don't think?
Well, except for Jodie, as
So,
much as I
okay,
think
well,
Jodie
say-
is awesome, I just think that whole Chris Chibnall time period is just a complete waste.
Was that what time period?
That's
The 13th Doctor.
13th Doctor.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, I think she just got snubbed with the writing. I think she could have been great, but I just wasn't, I never cared for her or her season.
I agree. I wanted to love her because it almost feels like, all the doctors were old white men and now it's a woman, yay! And then now it's a gay black man, yay!
You just gave that. I haven't.
Oh, okay. Cut that out.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm only on her right now. And the thing, I like her, and I think she does a good job. I think she kind of embodies the character of Doctor Who. But it is a little more difficult to really see her as the Doctor.
I'm also behind. Isn't her season 2 like a different kind of structure?
Yeah,
like
that's
narrative
why.
structure? Yeah.
That's why I don't know. Like the people like me who were not fans of her as the Doctor. Is it because we don't like her, or we didn't like the writing and the structure, which was just completely different?
It's the writing.
Okay, Ellie says it's
It's
the
the
writing.
structure. It's a shame because Chris Chibnall did have some decent episodes that he wrote along the way, and I guess they thought he'd be a great showrunner. But I sat through it. I suffered through. I was looking for a little bit of brilliance at some point, and I saw absolutely nothing. They had 5 years to do an arc, and they just didn't do it. If you take a look at what Stephen Moffat did, and to a lesser extent, but Russell T Davies, he just couldn't make that work. So it was very disappointing.
Now, did you know that Christopher Eccleston only did 13 episodes?
One season.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was thinking, maybe each season they change, but
Well, I don't know how many are in a season. I don't know if there's.
I think some of them there were definitely more, but
And with Christmas episodes,
specials.
Christopher Eccleston wasn't even in his own
So
Christmas special.
Yeah. Oh, because I guess if you just started then and you watch the season and then he regenerates, you assume, they regenerate each season.
Yeah.
But there was some stuff going on behind the scenes.
And by the way, just give your name so people can recognize your voice.
Hello. Oh, I'm Nika. Hello. Hello.
I'm Ellie.
You're, and you.
I'm Rob.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm Nora.
All right, so let's talk about the evildoers, or the anti-heroes, or what are they, the villains? I don't know what you call them. I have to say that for the longest time, I had a really hard time with the Daleks, because it's like, they look so stupid. But then, I mean, like, I don't know if the beginning they always had the Dalek inside of the mechanism. I mean, then it makes a lot more sense. Okay, so it's not this, like, really weird, stupid tin thing, but it's the animal inside of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at some of the episodes with, I think it's with Peter Capaldi, where you do see with Davros, which was brought back from, I guess, the earlier time. They do explain it, and I'm not exactly sure what the whole origin is. Ellie, do you know?
Well, I know he created them, and I know during one of David's last, it was the one where all of the companions were all back, and I don't remember what it was called, but Davros says that he created a new fleet of them from his own skin, and you see that he's like all bony because he created them from that. But yeah, I do know even the first episode with Christopher Eccleston with a Dalek, you see that there is the creature inside. So
I never liked the word Dalek.
I always think of garlic.
Oh, but then there's no R. So are they? But even Americans are saying Dalek. It's a Dalek, Dalek, Dalek.
It sounds like garlic.
But it's DAL. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I think my favorite
Dalmatian.
my favorite Dalek episode was, I guess, the first Clara one, and it's so heartbreaking because, and by the way, there's going to be a lot of spoilers on this. So if you've not yet seen these shows, you may want to
sit this one out.
But that one episode where she was inside the Dalek and she was making souffles,
So sad.
and then he was like, "Well, boy, where do you get the milk?
The milk, yeah,
to do that." And then she realizes that she's inside this Dalek, and it was heartbreaking.
So obviously a big part of this is time travel. And, time travel has some ethical implications, right? So what are the consequences of the Doctor's interference or interventions in history? Are they justified, or is it a bad idea?
It's funny because it's the kind of thing where I guess it's time travel. So you think, great, so go back and kill Hitler or go back and save Kennedy, like those kinds of things. I don't think they do enough of that where it's even that seems to be the theme of Doctor Who. It's just that they play with time, which is when they do it well, it's unbelievably brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I think they set up a very specific set of rules. So there are some things that are fixed points, so they can't change them. So that's kind of their justification for why he's not getting rid of every bad human. But yeah, I mean, with time travel shows, I just need to know the rules. This is the type of show where you can go back and you can change something, and then it's not like you can go back as many times as you want and redo it. It's that you're still there at that point. And so I think it's very interesting. I mean, I think that he's done a lot of good and a lot of bad, and you can make arguments for whether or not a lot of the stuff he does is ethical. I mean, like he caused Pompeii and he like that kind of stuff, but it's either he's stopping something terrible from happening, or maybe he's realizing he's the one who caused the bad thing in the first place.
Well, I was going to say, I think the Doctor wrestles with this a lot. From what I remember, especially Matt Smith's character, there was like a lot of him trying to be kind of like the savior, but then that kind of twists into like he realizes, oh, all these individuals look at me as the villain. And, I think the Doctor can be pretty arrogant at times of like his definition of right and wrong.
Yeah.
So I think he travels through time and has these guardrails because he knows that I can't always be trusted to decide what the right thing is.
I find that Peter Capaldi is more about the ethics of it. Like he struggles over that more. Like he's like, I can't do this. I shouldn't do that. At least that's been my impression.
Well, he does ask Clara if he's a good person. I mean, that was one of the premises of one of their.
And yet, I've seen shows where he says, "I know we can't do this, but I'm the Doctor, so I'm going to do that." So even though he wants to be ethical, he also said, like, Clara is dead. Well, I'm bringing her back to life, even though that's not okay. She's my friend. I'm doing it.
Well, that's a really good point. He did break all the rules. He admitted it, but he's got that human quality.
Yeah, and then also reminds me of the David Tennant in The Waters of Mars, when those people were supposed to die on Mars, and he decides, no, I'll take them. I'm Time Lord victorious. And then he realizes he went too far. He can't break the rules.
I think that that you also have to look at the Doctor. He's not always this benevolent person. One of the most interesting shows is with David, I think, Family of Blood, where he was avoiding the villains in that show.
Remind me what's the episode?
It's the one where he goes undercover as a human, as John Smith, the professor, and he doesn't remember his Time Lord life, and Martha's there.
Yes.
But what he was doing is he was avoiding dealing with the villains. And the whole time you're thinking, oh, these villains are really powerful. But the reason he was avoiding them was because he knew that if he caught them, and he was going to catch them, he was going to do such unspeakable horrors to them, and he was avoiding them for their benefit. And at the end, when they refused to cooperate, he gave them the worst sentence possible. Ellie, what were some of those things that he did to the family?
He made one of them a scarecrow just forever, for life. He just has to sit there. One of them, I think was falling forever into some sort of void. The little girl was in every mirror of all time. Don't remember what happened to the dad. Yeah, it's just he gave them eternal hell. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Daleks versus Cybermen. Which one is worse, and which one do you think is more effective as a villain?
I don't know if there's an answer in my head. I think they're both all powerful and all horrible, and there's no way to beat them. And yet, the Doctor always beats them.
Yeah.
I think really only because of that episode, Doomsday, Rose's last one, where there were the Cybermen versus the Daleks. We saw the Daleks seem to be more powerful. They definitely are, I would think, more evil, though they both are like terrible and merciless. But I'd probably rather face a Dalek than a Cyberman because they're both going to kill me, but the Cyberman's going to turn me into one of them, and I'd rather not have that.
And Danny Pink became a Cyberman. So.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. The Dalek would just kill you. The Cyberman wants to turn you into a Cyberman so they can be more Cybermen. So.
And is it the Cybermen or the Daleks that you just get them in the back of the head? Is that the Cybermen?
That's the Sontaran.
Oh, duh. I'm off. Okay, we talked about a couple of episodes, and there are episodes where they're historical things that are happening. Do you have a favorite on those historical episodes?
The Vincent Van Gogh episode, brilliant. And that's one of my favorite episodes ever. It's just so, and when they take him at the end and he sees like his work, it's just so beautiful.
What do you think, Nora?
That was gonna be mine. So I will just say, in addition to, I do like the Pompeii one because I do like the Capaldi character. It's just a little fun, like, Easter egg. If you already know he's going to be the doctor he plays, and that happens quite frequently. That there are actors and actresses who kind of like pop in. That there's no storyline to why they are that, but there's a hypothesis that the doctor recreates the image from humans that he has seen throughout time and space. So there's like a kind of fan theory there.
Karen Gill and Amy Pond was also in that episode.
Yes.
Yeah, she was one of the witches, or one of the helpers there. I also love the Robin Hood episode. If you want to talk about the historic
Real
ones,
history.
real history. But when they cross over into fantasy, they do it very, very well. They make it very big. They make these characters come to life, very likable, and it was a great story.
Now, when I started watching it, very first episode, I'm going, this is kind of stupid. Am I serious here? Am I calling Doctor Who stupid? No. Actually, you have to keep listening, but you'll have to wait till the next episode comes out. And I'm sorry about all the pops and clicks because we had to pass around the microphone between ourselves. But stay tuned for the next episode, which will be the second half of this Doctor Who discussion. Where else can you hear scintillating conversations with interesting people with ties to New Jersey, except for here? You can't, and that's why you should subscribe and listen to every episode. I'm Lucille Osapio, and this is Not So Famous in New Jersey.